Hello, friends. Today I want to share a story about Strega Nona's Harvest by Tomie dePaola. Our friend Tomie dePaola has written so many wonderful books to share the wisdom of his family in such creative, imaginative ways. And here we see our Strega Nona in her garden. Remember, gardens are a way that we can grow food and share the abundance of Mother Earth's gifts with our friends and neighbors and families. And when we do this, we're creating good health for all the animals that live in that garden, as well as good health for our planet and our pollinator pals, fresh air that we can all breathe. So a garden is a gift to a community and builds strong ties and good neighbors and good health. So let's find out about Strega Nona's garden and her harvest. It was spring and all the snow had melted. The rich earth was beginning to warm. Strega Nona pulled out a small wooden box she had been hidden away in a dark cupboard all winter. "Aha," she said as she took out small packets of seeds she had saved from last year's garden. "Chi siete, I miei amici piccoli." Here you are, my little friends. My whole house is full of seeds like that, too. "Why were all those seeds in the dark, Strega Nona?" Big Anthony asked. "Well, mio caro, my dear," Strega Nona answered, "they have to rest just like you do so that they will be able to do their job when we plant them in the ground. We have to keep them in a cool, dark, dry place so they sleep all winter till it's time to plant them in the spring." "When will we plant them, Strega Nona?" Bombolina asked. "Well, when the luna, the moon, tells us, Bombolona. Then we will plant each kind of seed carefully in the right place. After all, we can't just throw the seeds into the ground in a big pile. A garden must be orderly so it is easy to pick the vegetables." Now let me look into my Libro de Giardino, garden book, to see what we did last year. Every year, Strega Nona wrote down in her book what she planted, when and where. She never put the same vegetables in the same spot. That way, if there's pests or diseases where they were growing before, they can fool those pests and have better success with the harvest. "We have to move them around," she told her young helpers, "so the soil will stay happy and strong. But first, Anthony, you must spread the compost and manure we saved all winter and take them into the soil so our vegetables will grow as big and beautiful as can be. That compost is like a vitamin pill for our seeds to grow." So Big Anthony put a clothespin on his nose and he did his job, because sometimes manure is a little smelly. "Children, come," called Strega Nona. "It's almost the end of Maggio, May, and there will be a full moon tonight. It is time to plant. Now, Anthony, I want you to make nice straight rows in the soil with the end of the hoe. That's where the seeds will go." So she's following the moon's calendar. A lot of people plant according to the moon's calendar. And look, it's Maggio 29, my birthday. Great day to plant the garden. "Big Anthony," Bombolona scolded, "you're not even making the rows straight enough. You know that Strega Nona likes everything perfect. And so do I." Bombolona is so bossy, Big Anthony thought. Someday I'll show her I can do something perfect too. Perfecto. And look at here. They have the seeds for all these different fruits and vegetables they're going to grow in their garden. Zucca, which is our squash, our zucchini and summer squash. melanzana, that looks like an eggplant. We have pisello, which are peas, cavolo, cabbage, pomodoro, tomatoes, zucchino, capsicum. Here, looks like a artichoke. Fagiolo, and melone. So they're planting a wide variety of different crops. And then they water them well to help soften the hard seed coat on the seeds so the baby plant sleeping inside can wake up and start to grow. That night, when the full moon rose up in the sky, Strega Nona quietly crept out to the garden. She looked up at the moon and sang, "Oh, bella luna, smile on me, and on the seeds I sow, and let the moonbeam shine from thee to make my garden grow. And now for the ingrediente segreto." Secret ingredient. Strega Nona blew 3 kisses to the moon. Just like that. "Oh," said Big Anthony as he watched her. Suddenly he spied some seeds that had dropped on the ground. "I know. I'll plant my own perfect garden behind the goat shed, and I'll show Bambolina." So Big Anthony poked some holes in the ground. He threw in the seeds and covered them with compost and manure. He watered and watered. Then he sang Strega Nona's song, "Oh, bella luna, smile on me, and on the seeds I sow, and let the moonbeams shine from thee to make my garden really grow." He blew 3 kisses to the moon. Uno, dos, tres. And just to be sure, he blew 3 more. Uno, dos, tres. And it did. As it did every year, Strega Nona's garden grew beautifully. And here's Big Anthony's garden, and this is Strega Nona's garden. They both look like they're growing well. Soon bright green insalata salad was on the table. Fresh peas were added to the pasta for Strega Nona's pasta pot. Green beans were cooked in olive oil, and other vegetables were growing beautifully too. Big Anthony's secret garden was growing as well, but not quite so beautifully. It looked like a jungle. "Mamma mia," Big Anthony thought. "I can't let Bambolina or Strega Nona see this mess." But he has lots of good fruits and vegetables growing, even though it is messy. Here's Big Anthony's garden, and we can see some nice pumpkins growing. And here's Strega Nona's beautifully orderly garden. Now it was time to harvest the vegetables that Strega Nona would keep over the winter, like our squash and potatoes. And here we have, these are our little Brussels sprouts. So many, and tomatoes. Look at all these beautiful crops that grew in their garden, all kinds of squash. It wasn't long before the root cellar and the rafters in the kitchen were full. "Molto bene," very good, said Strega Nona to Bambolina and Big Anthony. "A job well done. We all deserve a good rest." See, they even hang some from the ceiling to store them, and also sometimes to dry them, like herbs and onions, things like that. But Big Anthony didn't have time to rest. He had other work to do. "I've got to pick all my vegetables. What will I do with them?" he said. Look at, he has this wonderful harvest to bring in. The next morning when Strega Nona opened her door, she found a big pile of vegetables. "Santo cielo! Good heavens," Strega Nona said. "Where did these come from?" She called Big Anthony and Bambolina. "My children, please carry all these vegetables into the kitchen. Grazie. Thank you." Every morning there were more vegetables outside the door. Soon there was hardly any room to move in the kitchen. Maybe these are from the villagers, Strega Nona thought. Perhaps they had too good of a harvest. Well, I must find out, and soon. If this goes on, I won't have room to sleep in my little bed at night. The next morning, Strega Nona packed a basket of vegetables. I'll take these to the sisters at the convent, and maybe they'll know something. Oh, grazie, Strega Nona, said the Mother Superior. You must have heard our prayers. Our garden didn't do well this season. In fact, no one's garden in the village did. We had too much rain down here, while you had lots of sun up on your hill. So Strega Nona went right to the mayor. Yes, Strega Nona, Signor Mayor said. The harvest was poor this year. Well, I have more than enough to share, Strega Nona said. I will have a harvest feast tomorrow evening at sundown. Tell everyone to come. And Strega Nona practically ran up to her little house. Bambolona, Big Anthony, come quickly, Strega Nona said. We have work to do. I am going to have a harvest feast for all our friends and neighbors. We shall share our bounty. And that's the gift of a garden, sharing the bounty of the harvest. And look they have big, long tables set up where all the neighbors can come and enjoy this harvest celebration feast. And viva! Hooray, hooray for Strega Nona, everyone shouted. Arrivederci, buonanotte, goodbye, good night, Strega Nona and the two helpers called out. Strega Nona looked around at her empty kitchen. Well, that took care of that, she said with a smile. But I still wonder where all those vegetables came from. And she climbed into bed. Later that night, who do we see out there? Big Anthony still harvesting the fruits and vegetables of his messy but very abundant garden. What a wonderful ending to a wonderful garden harvest. I hope that you will start planting your garden, and we will be planting our storybook garden sooner than you think. It's not going to be long until we can plant the seeds of a harvest celebration right here at our beautiful Pekin Public Library.